Growing up in a small rural town in Indiana in the 1950s isn't exactly the time or the place that inspires a young girl to become a scientist. But that was Dr. Ann Osborn Poelman's dream. On her way to that goal, she took a slight detour and became a world-renowned neuroradiologist instead.
When I went to Stanford, I majored in psychology with a minor in anthropology, was not interested in medical school, and in fact, I was admitted to graduate school PhD program in Harvard, and my research was at Mass General Hospital. And I got more interested in what was going on with the patients than what was going on with the research. And so I decided, you know what? I think instead of getting a PhD in psychology, I ought to be in medical school. So I got it all done, then went back to Stanford to go to medical school.
Back at Stanford, Ann discovered the world of radiology, particularly neuroradiology. Fascinated with ability of discovery, like a detective, the clues of a brain disorder that would lead to a diagnosis became her passion. Then came an offer from the University of Utah, one she couldn't pass up and has never looked back.
When I finished my residency and fellowship, I could have either stayed at Stanford, but I had a job offer at the University of Utah. I wasn't born here, wasn't raised here, didn't go to school here. I did take a look early in my career at other jobs, had a lot of opportunities to go elsewhere, and why go elsewhere? People give their right arms to live here and get jobs here. This is the place.
Beyond her teaching and clinical work, Dr. Osborn served as the first female president of the American Society of Neuroradiology. She was the recipient of the Gruby Memorial Award from the Chicago Radiology Society. Dr. Osborn is also the author of definitive medical books and journal articles and is the co-creator of the first comprehensive point-of-care electronic imaging reference system. And while Dr. Osborn is world-renowned in the circles of medicine, her interests extend beyond CT scans and MRIs. She has always been moved and inspired by the arts, becoming a very passionate patron and donor.
You know, a life that doesn't include the arts in some way, shape, or form, I think is limited. The love for the arts, I think, started when I was very young. And my parents were great believers. They were both college graduates, and they were great believers in having a rounded liberal arts education. So they would take us to Chicago. We'd go to the museums, we'd go to the Art Institute. I grew to love those things. So arts has always been a part of my life. And I don't have a job in the arts, but actually my heart's in the arts. I visually try to do lectures in ways that people get a visual appreciation of the concept that I'm trying to teach, as I'm telling them a story of maybe something like a brain tumor, for example. One of the things that I really appreciated about the U and the arts, not only the performing arts, but the visual arts and so on, is the outreach into the community, bringing arts to kids who may, if they didn't have that, would have grown up without them. I had a scientific mind, but I think I have an artistic heart.
Throughout her life, Ann has been an explorer and pioneer. She has traveled the world as a lecturer and thrilled in every country with discoveries of people, food, arts, and the joy of their cultures. She has no plans to slow down or stop learning.
I want to keep sharing. I'm still working. I'm still traveling and teaching. There's no selfishness in sharing knowledge with people who really, genuinely love what they do. The day you think that you know it all is the day you ought to hang up your spurs and walk and ride into the sunset.